1, 2. I'm talking a talkback, but no one can hear me.
And number 22, the captain of the Phoenix, Andrew Durante. On the bench for Wellington, number 3, Reece Ewer. Number 7, Leo Burgos. Number 14, Alex Ruber. Number 20, Lewis Italiano. And number 24, Roy Krishna. The coach of Wellington Phoenix, Ernie Merrick. There are Brandon Spikes, currently on top of the Hyundai A-League.
That's iffy. Hey, mate. Rob, how you doing? All right? You going well? Good.
Very hot out there, so
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Number 2, the captain. Is Matt Smith, sponsored by Christine Holmes. Number 3, Shane Stefanino, brought to you by Luxury Paints. Number 10.
Hello. Testing 1, 2, 3. If anyone wants to have a tester. Matthew, yes, testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
Number 14, Diego Ferreira. Thanks to Lawson and Pack. Number 18, Lee Bratton from Jewish Travel. Number 19, Jack Higgins, sponsored by Powerade. Number 22, Thomas Browich, sponsored by
It's Brisbane against Wellington on Harvey Norman Friday Night Football, live on Fox Sports.
Brisbane Roar, number 15, James Donkey, number 20, Matt Ashton, number 26, Corey Brown, and number 28, Brendan Barello, the coach of the Brisbane Roar, Mike Mulvey. The referee is Chris Beat. The assistant referees are Graham Hobson and Andrew Lindsay. The fourth official, Matthew Gillette.
Well done, Carl. The kick-off here at Suncorp Stadium. Wellington Phoenix taking on our Brisbane Roar. Now, you would have seen a little bit earlier, these two London people getting engaged. Frank, mate, what made you do it here at Suncorp Stadium on the big screen?
Well, mate, I just wanted to do something different. We both love the Roar, and I knew she'd never think it was going to happen. So, yeah.
Well, mate, you did well. I'm so glad that you said yes.
Oh, it's not bad. I had a backup girl on the next thing, no.
They were rolled at home by the Reds.
Oh, Jordan Elsey!
And then had their backs to the wall in the West, tackling the Glory with 10 men.
He's in trouble here, Berisha. He's off.
The victory-bound striker will be cooling his heels tonight as the ladder-leading Roar run into a white-hot Wellington Phoenix.
Kenny Cunningham with one of the goals of the season.
Ernie Merrick's men are coming off their biggest win in more than 4 years. Can they surprise the Roar as well? It's Brisbane against Wellington on Harvey Norman Friday Night Football, live on Fox Sports.
Hello and welcome along to Suncorp Stadium for a Trans-Tasman clash that historically has been dominated by Brisbane. But times are changing for the Roar. At season end, their charismatic goal machine Bessa Berisha is heading south to where the blue of Melbourne victory, like the former Brisbane stars Mitch Nichols and Robbie Cruz before him. Berisha has been the perfect finishing foil to the Roar's silky brand of football. Wellington Phoenix has never won and never kept a clean sheet in Brisbane, but their vital signs under Ernie Merrick are all going in the right direction. With just 3 points separating 5th place Adelaide down to 9th place Phoenix, this match is pivotal for the Kiwis' top 6 aspirations. Will the Phoenix bring their devastating form of last week to test the benchmark of Australian football? Wellington is the informed team in the A-League with Adelaide, winning 4 and drawing 1 of their last 5 matches. Brisbane played with 10 men for 60 minutes in physical conditions against Perth last week and had to endure the long trip back from the west. How much of an impact will that have tonight? It's all set and ready to go in Brisbane. Stay with us. Team news and kick-off from Suncorp coming up. This is the calm after the storm. 71 millimetres of rain fell on Brisbane last night, lashing the city, but very good conditions, and the pitch has really absorbed all the pressure over the past 24 hours. Team news now, and 3 changes for the Roar, and they are significant. 18-year-old Devante Cloute makes his A-League debut for the injured Liam Miller. Diogo Ferreira in for Matt Mackay, and Dimi Petratos replaces the suspended Besart Berisha, with Ivan Franjic still injured. Plenty of attacking threats out of this Brisbane lineup. For Wellington, international duty has taken away Costa Rican pair Carlos Hernandez and Kenny Cunningham. Ernie Merrick brings in the hard-working midfielder Jason Hicks and Jeremy Brockie, who returned to scoring ways last week in that magnificent performance against the Melbourne Victory. That's the way they'll line up. So without a number 10, it won't be a diamond midfield on paper anyway. And there's the benches. Borello on the bench for Brisbane Roar. Mike Mulvey has had to endure some indifferent form with key players out in recent weeks. A tough road trip last week, playing with 10 men for 60 minutes against Perth Glory. And it's a positive look for the 2-times championship winning coach Ernie Merrick for Wellington Phoenix. The man with the whistle is Chris Beath. He takes charge of his 89th A-League match. Well, Brisbane may sit top of the A-League, but their foundations have been shaken over the past fortnight. Will they show any weakness at home? If that happens, can Wellington take advantage of that? Ifs and buts to start round 16. Robbie Slater's with me in commentary. Welcome, Rob.
Thank you very much, David, and good points, very good points. They've lost their last 2 home games. Brisbane Roar against Newcastle Jets and Adelaide United, of course, and the last 2 games for Mike Mulvey. His team has played a large chunk of the games with 10 men, so that's a situation that he's had to address this week, I'm sure. Discipline. And they come up against the Wellington Phoenix side in super form. 4 wins out of the last 5, and of course the one they lost at North Sydney Oval, I think everyone agrees they could quite easily have won that game. So who's going to miss those players the most? First 11 is for Brisbane Roar, and of course Cunningham, Hernandez away as well. Mackay, Miller, Franjic and Berisha missing from Brisbane Roar.
Huge hole in the midfield of the Roar, but obviously some quality Costa Ricans out of Ernie Merrick's lineup. Matt Smith playing his 100th A-League game, the captain of Brisbane Roar. Thomas Broich named as a central striker, but played probably as a false 9. Enrique will float. A lovely backheel in the path of Broich, who's ahead of the stats in many of the facets of A-League play this season.
I think it's an interesting one to point out to people who don't understand that false 9. It's someone who drifts between the lines, Doesn't really play up top.
Petratos will get the shot away.
And drifts in between, and that's what Broich will do.
Here's Thomas Broich. A lot of responsibility on his shoulders tonight in the absence of Berisha. Lovely ball clipped over, and the header's not on target, but it was a decent move. Petratos has yet to score at Suncorp Stadium. All his 4 goals on the road, including a hat-trick against his former club, Sydney FC. So in Berisha's absence, the focus will be on Dimi Petratos.
Well, what a great chance that was. Brilliantly picked out from Thomas Broich, and it's a tame header. He's just in front of that penalty spot, completely unmarked. At the very least, at the bare minimum, he should be testing the keeper from there.
Jack Hingett, just how they line up with Carlos Hernandez playing at the point of a diamond midfield in Ernie Merrick's lineup last week, was so successful in shutting down Melbourne Victory. No natural number 10 for the Phoenix, so they've just had to change things up a little. Jeremy Brockie comes into the lineup with Hicks. Of course, Hicks not as attack-minded as Kenny Cunningham. Good move this. Brockie, poor first touch, and the angle was far too tight. Michael Theo, the ball had gone over anyway, but Michael Theo had that near post covered.
That was a good situation. Just a heavy touch from Jeremy Brockie. I was speaking to Ernie Merrick that he's been absolutely buzzing in training this week. But going back to your point, yeah, it is a little bit different the way they'll play without a Hernandez, without a real 10, who was on fire against the Melbourne Victory last week. But it's a much more workmanlike middle of the park. But both sides are missing key players in that position. Matt Mackay, for me, has been the driving force behind Brisbane Roar this season, and he will be sorely missed. So what a night for Devante Kloot and Luke Bratton. A lot of responsibility on his shoulders, rather, as he plays in front of that back 4.
Here's Matt Smith. Devante Kloot's in that central midfield role. Luke Bratton's been such a star for Brisbane Roar this season. Diego Ferreira has had scant opportunities as well. There he is, 18 years of age, came through a Nike Chance trial program a couple of years back, 2012. Same program that unearthed Tom Rogic. Here's Andrew Durante. It's a good ball in behind. Brockie's got the legs to keep it in play. Needs support centrally. Gets it in the form of Jason Hicks, who lost his footing. Remember, plenty of rain overnight and yesterday in Brisbane.
You can see how slippery it is, and Devante Kloot as well, recognised in that Nike The Chance. Certainly unearthed some stars, hasn't it?
Factor of the long trip west, playing 60 minutes with 10 men last week for Brisbane Roar when they had the better of the second half against Perth Glory. That really was an outstanding performance down to 10 men. They didn't get a shot on target, but they controlled everything. As far as general play, Broich outstanding. North pushed up second half. They put a lot of pressure on the young Perth Glory lineup. Here's Matty Muscat. Hicks. Good anticipation. Diego Ferreira has Broich floating right. He popped up on the left to start the match, but he's got a license to roam. Thomas Broich inboard. Devante Kloot just dwelled in possession. Bratton over the top. Good weight on that ball in the path of Petratos, but it's chopped out by Albert Riera, who's been arguably Wellington Phoenix best player this season. Really is the glue that holds the midfield together. Good turn by Kloot. He gets the shot on target. Promising sign.
A decent strike, was it? Wasn't it, as he turns here. Good physical strength and holds off Durante with left foot. Controls the shot. I was very relieved to see it come straight at him.
Smith. Second of the passes completed behind Luke Bratton this season. Put good use of the body to draw Riera into the challenge. That's a clever play.
He's made a good start, hasn't he? Looks sharp. He's got a quick turn. It just spins away, sorry.
He's on Western Sydney's radar for a year or so. Parramatta boy from Sydney's west, north. Stefanuto, great to see him back and healthy. Klut lays it off to Broich. Stefanuto provides the run, but was excellent work by Michael Boxall, who was outstanding last week against Melbourne Victory. Not a natural right back, but in the absence of Louis Fenton, who had shoulder surgery during the week, he's occupied that place for Ernie Merrick's team. Good anticipation by Bratton. Petratos. New lease of life in the orange of Brisbane Roar. Hingett. Petratos. Glides into space, cuts back well. And that's a good defensive touch by the Phoenix. Hasegam's helping out the defence.
He's so clever in those situations, Petratos. He's not quick over a long distance, but he's very quick over 4 or 5 metres. That one should go straight through to Theo.
Well, Theo had to be careful too. He just came out of his area, then withdrew. To have Tyler Boyd bearing down. Bratton lifts the eyes, sees Enrique making the run. Diminutive Brazilian takes it well on the chest. He's got Stefanuto on his outside. The layoff is good. And that's a lovely move, but an uncharacteristic poor touch there by Thomas Broich. He's got the skill to open up the pitch once more. Falling over, he gives away a free kick to Wellington Phoenix. Let's head down to Nick Meredith.
Yeah, Bash, just a bit of information on the young guy Devontae Klut making his debut. He's been an absolute standout for the Roar youth team this year. Now, Robbie, he was recommended to the Roar by a former Socceroo teammate of yours, Vlado Bozanovski, as a very promising young player, and he certainly settled into his first A-League game very well.
Good background on Devontae Klut. That's what the A-League's all about, unearthing young talent, seeing the next generation of national team players. Roar have scored twice as many goals as the Phoenix in this fixture, scoring 3 or more goals on 4 occasions. In fact, the Phoenix has only 2 victories away in New Zealand, 2-0 in Dunedin, 3-1 in Wellington, a match that Eugene Daddy was the star all those years ago for the Phoenix. Durante. Good touch by Brockie. Good turn. Brockie brings in Hasegam's. Promising move this. Stein Hasegam's equal top scorer in the A-League. Takes a tame deflection and easy pickings for Michael Theo.
Yeah, came inside Hasegam's there. Did have Tyler Boyd. If he would have just continued on a straight line, he could have probably slipped Tyler Boyd in. He was very frustrated not to get that ball.
North under pressure. Play out now through Matt Smith. It's been a real pattern. Smith does provide that ability to push up into midfield and an overload situation for the Roar. Bratton, short for Enrique. A turnover here. Boyd's a dangerous player. Scored his first A-League goal a couple of starts back. Hasegam's tries to turn his man. Hicks. Rocky returned to the scorer sheet that assist as well last week. Vince Leah on the angle. Strikes the post. Fantastic effort. Denied by the upright. And the chance now for Brisbane to break.
Oh, super play in and around the penalty box, wasn't it?
Rocky wins it back for the Phoenix. Hingett marks that move.
Oh, what a terrific effort from Vince Lee. Opened up nicely for him. Great strike across the keeper. It's got Theo beaten, all ends up and crashes back off the post. Terrific strike from Leah. Very unlucky.
Sort of attacking purpose they showed last week. Ending a 7-match losing streak against the Victory with that 5-0 thumping of Kevin Muscat's men. their form on the road that's been impressive, winning their past 2 away games against the Heart in Western Sydney. Here's Enrique over the top. Blut. First touch wasn't too clever, but recovers well. Petratos.
Well, he should have taken it first time, the youngster, shouldn't he? Didn't have really time to have that touch.
Error there by Hicks. Flick wide to Hingett. Roach in the middle. Hingett gets around the first man easily. Brings the corner for Brisbane.
Yeah, good cover from Durante. Good play from Hingett as well.
Extra responsibility on the shoulders of Luke Bratton tonight. The absence of Miller and Mackay. 2 big misses from last week. Bratton floats the corner back post. It was made with purpose too. Stefanuto was there. They end up back with Luke Bratton. Keeps it in play just. Swings it into the same direction. Deflected header by Smith. Brocky in the path of Hicks. Of course, the news and the big news, no real surprise because the whispers have been around for a while that Bessa Barisha, his time at Brisbane Roar is coming to an end. Plenty of suitors, the A-League and beyond. It's a good early ball played in the path of Brocky. Muscums makes that run centrally. It's a poor delivery. Stefanuto able to tidy up for Brisbane Roar.
Yeah, just a bit too much air, and he got himself into a good position. He's had a bit of joy down this left-hand side, Jeremy Brocky.
Over the top, Broich is offside.
And then too early.
How do you see the Bessa Barisha move?
Well, it's going to be interesting. Victory, we know they don't play with an out-and-out 9, so it's going to be a real change in style for them, but he's been a terrific goal scorer. I mean, that sort of player, you fit into your team, don't you? A lot of talk about will he have the supply line, or they got some terrific players as well. Traoisi, Barbarousis, and of course Tommy Rogic. We're looking forward to seeing him play in the Big Blue on Australia Day. Melbourne victory at home to Sydney FC.
Barisha came up publicly and said that nothing short of a championship will be his aim this season for the Roar. Of course, he's given great service to the team in orange. 34.2% of their goals since signing in season 11-12. 41 goals in 65 matches. Unbelievable return. 6 goals this season. It's good. Back to Bratton. In turn, Diogo Ferreira. Stefanuto hugging that touchline. Centrally for Broich. Cook makes the run. Broich takes the touch. As Hingett out wide. Typical Brisbane move this. Square, but misdirected.
It's good pressing from Wellington. Either side really settling into any sort of rhythm at the moment. Certainly a good tempo, good feel to it this game. The ball zipping around on this slippery surface after all that rain.
Smith can't hit his target, which was Enrique. Sigmund's had a very good season, the veteran for the Phoenix. Good ball in behind the defence. Rocky's onside. Had to take it first time because Hicks was very deep.
Yeah, only had one other option, and that was to probably turn around the other way, but took it on. Shows the confidence he's got.
Or as expected, bossing possession. Almost 60-40 the split. That is plenty of firepower out of the lineup. In fact, if you look at the stats, Brisbane forced to defend centrally. Ferreira back to North. It's 12 goals and 9 assists out of the lineup. Franjic, Mackay, Barisha and Miller. There's a huge hole to fill. All over the top to Barisha, to Petratos. Wicket around Manny Muscat. In fact, both fullbacks for Wellington Phoenix. Makeshift. Manny Muscat, not a natural left back, and of course Boxall more a central defender. Stefanuto. Muscat sweeps it away. Ferreira keeps it alive. Higgett puts the body in, so does Hicks. Classy Belgium has been such an asset for Wellington Phoenix this season. Certainly Ernie Merrick, the coach, has got the best out of him. Muscat swings the ball right. Boxall provides the overlap, but can't get the touch around his opponent, Stefanuto. Michael Boxall, be fair to say, lost a bit of impetus and perhaps enthusiasm last season. Got the confidence of a coach that has backed him in that was initially an unfamiliar role. Here's Riera. Always the Achilles heel for Wellington Phoenix is their away form. Of course, disadvantage to like no other club. Australian-based club anyway, but certainly under Merrick, it has improved this season. Boxall. Heisekums gets past Bratton. Stein Heisekums looking for goal number 8. Swept away by Jade North.
Oh, that's what he's so good. He's so good in close quarters like that. Quick feet, good little turn, and just a heavy touch at the crucial moment. Well, they're good form of 4 wins out of the last 5 games, Wellington. And now to come at a time we suggested when all the world, the All Whites were playing for the World Cup, I might just let you come in here.
Thomas Broich. Full head of steam. Short-circuited by Andrew Durante. He'll get another chance. Loves drifting in both angles, but does favour the left-hand side. Ferreira, that was ill-directed. Chance for Hicks to launch a counter-attack for Wellington Phoenix, but he just slows the tempo down.
Yeah, so back to that Wellington, and when the All Whites was all finished up, and of course not going to the World Cup, but so much travel for so many of these players, and the troubles, they didn't play much in Wellington either, and we just wondered the time to judge them was really once it all settled down, and look how they've responded.
Energetic Wellington Phoenix away from home. That was Tyler Boyd. Bratton. It's a lovely delivery. Klut. That wasn't so well done. He had a couple of impressive early touches. Devante Klut. Certainly going to be a big change from the pace of youth team football. So he's got the engine to get up and down that corridor, but we've seen a couple of times Stefanuto do the same thing and get him behind the Wellington fullback, the right fullback. Have to be a little bit careful down that channel.
Yeah, look, I think you can see the way they've started. Muscat hasn't really got forward that much, and Boxall either, and I think that's probably the instructions from Ernie Merrick, particularly in the opening half an hour, to just don't open up the pitch too much for Enrique, and of course Stefanuto, who bombs on as well.
Here's Boyd. Options in the middle, and swinging the boot was Ben Sigmund. Heading forward, the defender.
Well, Brisbane might be dominating possession, but in transition, Wellington looking much more dangerous. As soon as they win the ball, they got numbers pouring forward. That was a perfect opportunity. And Brisbane's attack a little bit central, a little bit narrow at times, and Wellington are on their way when they win that ball.
most famous paramedic in the A-League. Certainly a fantastic story. Spaniard really has been one of the finds for Ernie Merrick. There he is. Came to New Zealand with a wish and a holiday, and now ends up being a professional footballer. Durante wins the aerial battle with Broich. Good. Tries to nick it around Riera, but caught the arm of the Spaniard. Brisbane only able to get a shot on target last week against Perth Glory, despite controlling all the possession and the tempo of the match. Of course, it didn't help that Barisha was red carded so early. First red card in the A-League. It's not Barisha, controversial figure. Broich. Riera. Hicks. Holds it up, but it is Retratos with good body strength and purpose. Smith pushes up. Century of A-League matches for the Brisbane Roar captain. Enrique missed a great chance second half against Perth. All 3 points to Brisbane on their travels. Anytime a midfield misses the likes of Matt Mackay and Liam Miller, there's plenty of quality out of it.
There's so much creativity in there. Miller and Mackay have both been superb.
North tries to slice it through. With yellow shirts to block off his angle. Now he has to play it all the way back to Michael Theo.
Well, you see they're defending, they're nice and compact. They get everyone behind the ball, Wellington. Good structure.
Smith putting Stefanuto under pressure. Now kicks off on Heisekums. Leah. Shot hit the upright early in the match. There's a chance for any team. Musket. Sigmund. Brocky. Looking for the run from Tyler Boyd, but it wasn't forthcoming.
No, he was looking for Tyler Boyd to come towards the ball, and Tyler Boyd was trying to get him behind. Brocky just playing it around the corner. Brisbane finding it very difficult to break down this Wellington Phoenix side.
Of course, their last two home performances have been substandard. Against Newcastle, 2-0, and under-strength Adelaide United beat them at the stadium. Too often that Brisbane lose 3 in a row at home. What will the January transfer window bring as far as potential strike options for Mike Mulvey? Will they sign another player? Bush has gone to be a marquee, occupied by, of course, Thomas Broich. Lozano, who played a key figure a few seasons back in their championship-winning team, has been put through his paces in the last week. Of course, after that unsuccessful stint Melbourne victory. Remains to be seen whether he's signed by the club. Riera. Hicks. Good ball. Heisekums, fantastic first touch. Then he got himself tangled up. Oh, that's a terrific save. Wonderful effort. Hicks got his shot on target, and Michael Theo's firm hand kept it out.
What a save. A great little intricate play. Heising against quick feet, sets it up for Hicks, and Hicks hits it low and hard. You couldn't ask much more from the midfielder, and that's a terrific save from Theo. Down low with his lefty, strong left hand to palm it around the post.
Michael Theo now communicating with his defenders. The corner swung in a little bit too deep. He's kept 5 clean sheets in 13 matches. Michael Theo, of course, Matthew Acton deputised for him when he was on the injury list, ending a very long run of first team showings for Michael Theo. One of the best and most consistent performers in the A-League. 3 times A-League goalkeeper of the year.
It was a terrific save, wasn't it? Because he's hit it with some power as well, Hicks. Great reaction to get down low and a strong hand to get it around the post.
Orich. That's neither a shot nor a cross, really.
No, he's looking for Petratos. Make that angle run on it. Even if he had of, he wasn't going to get anywhere near that. It just shows the frustration Brisbane Roar having that very little in that final third. That's where they've got to do better, Brisbane. They've got to hold that ball up. Ball went from Klute to Petratos and lost it again.
Well, 23 of their 28 goals have come inside the box, 82% of their goals, and that's largely because of the intricate passing and the quality they've got midfield and that front 3 as well. When you take that out, Rob, the options become a little bit limited.
Yeah, look, 100%. No doubt about that. Strong challenge there on Boxall. Such experience as well. That quartet of players.
Hingett plays in Petratos. Klute. That touch did work out. I'm not sure it was intended for Bratton. Smith, Stefanuto. Gets a good angled run by Enrique, who stays on side. Orich in the middle. Enrique goes beyond him. Goes beyond Devontae Klute and the back post.
It's not a bad ball. The thing is, he knew there was no one there, so he saw Klute coming in. He wasn't coming, he was coming from very deep. No one at the back post, and it's not enough bodies in the box.
Completed passes usually a real domain of Brisbane Roar as we get beyond the half-hour mark. 153 to 90. You can see the Roar double their opponents in pretty quick time in that respect.
A lot of that has been in their own half. Wellington quite happy for Brisbane to have the ball here.
Of course, Bratton and Matt Smith, number 1 and 2 in that statistic in the A-League. Orich leads the assists and fouls 1. Ball's in the penalty area as well.
Yeah, look at that header one there from Sigmund. It drops straight to a Wellington Phoenix player. So they're dominating that middle third.
The error has Hicks a little bit wider. Muscat providing the overlap. He wins the foul too. Looked up at the referee, Chris Beath. Knew there was contact from Petratos.
Yeah, just caught him with his trailing leg, didn't he?
Brocky can deliver a set piece. We saw some stunning goals last week against the Victory. Carlos Hernandez on the angle and that absolute cranker, goal of the season candidate from Candy Cunningham. The best performance of the season. They're coming off. Different scenario and circumstances. Brocky over the set piece, well delivered. Bratton got enough on the header. Riera. Hicks over the top. Brocky takes it first time. Oh, that would have been some sort of goal if he scored that.
Referee judging that Theo got something on that. He's not really disputing that. What a terrific first-time effort from Jeremy Brocky, trying to surprise Theo at the near post. Difficult to control this on the half volley, and it skids across the surface and so nearly creeps in that near post.
Brocky over the corner, delivers it flat too, and Theo was under pressure. Enrique and up and under the clear. Manny Muscat. Brocky stays onside. He's pushed wide, and that's a good defensive challenge. Jack Hicks sliding in.
Yeah, but he shouldn't have had a chance. Brocky's first touch lets him down. He should be in on goal. Probably just stretching a little bit. Here's the first touch. That needed to go more angle towards that near post, and he would have a chance for a strike. Good defending from Hingett. And slack at the back from Brisbane Roar.
Nice spell for the Phoenix. Brocky again. Delivers back post. Theo wasn't that convincing coming out. Palming it away. It was Enrique just sweeping it. Twice he's helped out his defence. Enrique, smallest player on the pitch. Muscat floats it in. Chested wide by Boyd. Boxall. Leah. Slides it into Boxall's path. Drops the shoulder. And the deflection had to be carefully watched by Michael Theo, which it was. It was a difficult one in these conditions as well. Very greasy underfoot.
Well, this has been a superb display tactically from Wellington so far in this first half. They're well on top. I feel that they should be ahead. The chances they have created.
Good work by Brocky. Hicks has been very active and effective as well. Leah in space. Tries to deliver first time. It was Boyd making the run, but Stefanuto cutting off the angle.
And you see again that space for Leah in the middle of the park. Far too much space. There's too much distance in between the lines for Brisbane.
With the early minutes, Devontae Cook was on the ball, and Ferreira had some possession as well. You just thought
Petratus got him down the right side, and it was a positive start, but Wellington are clearly the better side since then. Just look a little bit unsure of themselves, Brisbane. Which is that we should add again, it's understandable what they're missing. Very young midfielder, Bratton, Clute and Ferreira.
Petratus. Good pressure there by Manny Muscat. Over the top, Bratton. Clute. Good flick on for Broich. Tries a similar tactic. Another counter-attack here. Brocky in behind. Boyd's onside. Haskins trying to make up the ground. Brisbane have the numbers. Brocky glancing, and it's in! Stein Haskins scores goal number 8 this season. A touch of luck, but Wellington richly deserved their goal. It's 1-0.
What about that from a transition from defence to attack? 3 passes. It's a mishit shot from Brocky. Tyler Boyd with the break, but the first ball came out to Heisikens. Tyler Boyd, this is a shot from Brocky. And Heisikens just, as a good striker should be, just gambling at the back post that he mishits it. Low and hard across the face of goal. It's definitely a striker goal, but Heisikens with the easiest of finishes. You can't say it hasn't been coming.
And you saw the reaction from Jade North. He thought that ball was coming a lot quicker and with a lot more weight. Now time for Brisbane to react. Stein Haskins been the standout player for Wellington as far as the goal scoring is concerned this season. Fantastic conversion rate. He's absolutely clinical in front of goal.
Yeah, Brocky with the confidence to hit that ball. The layback from Tyler Boyd. But in the end, he gets an assist for. Heisikens just gambling at the back post, as a good striker should. Hesitation between Theo and Jade North. Should have done better, really.
Stefanuto. Orich. Klut. Again, he sells Petratos short. Muscat anticipated the angle well. With a classy first half by the Belgium. He now goes to the top of the goal-scoring list with 8 goals, 1 ahead of James Troisi. Time for Brisbane to react. Petratos, touch inside. Dimi Petratos can hit them. He's thinking about it too. And he strikes, and strikes well. A sharp save by Glenn Moss, and the flag was up on Enrique.
Yeah, decent effort. A little bit of a spark for Roar. Petratos started on the right-hand side and made a half a yard for himself. Moss with a fairly regulation save, though. There's the goal. Brocky with the miss hit across the face of goal. And the hesitation, and Heisegham's with the tap in.
6 goals in his last 6 matches. He really has spearheaded Wellington Phoenix in their run to the top 6. It's amazing they are in 9th place after all that really good form. It just shows you how tight it is, 5th through to 9th. What 3 points separates Adelaide in 5th to 9th place Phoenix. Of course, Western Sydney behind Brisbane Roar. Top of the table. Boxall. Good engine to get forward. It makes his raw tools very useful indeed as a right back. Leah. Whipped off his feet by Enrique. Here's Ferreira back to the Brazilian. Deutsch offering the support. Enrique goes inside. Klut. Good first touch. This is better from Brisbane. Hingett. Petratos. Muscat has done very well on him. Really has worked him out pretty quickly.
And they get away with it, and they get the ball back off. Heisegham's there. But they leave Stan Heisegham's, and Smith and North just allow him to drift into loads of space and allow him to turn, and that's where he's so dangerous.
Difficult half of football for Jade North, notwithstanding that goal. Certainly been very active for front third for Wellington Phoenix. Tyler Boyd providing the pace on the left. Brocky in Devron on the right, I should say. Brocky on the left, and Heisegham's in the middle. Plenty of movement, plenty of purpose. They have the lead to match. Never won an A-League match in Brisbane. Only 2 victories over the Roar. Leah, oh, he's caught late. That may be a booking. It is on Diego Ferreira. A little bit overzealous in his challenge.
Yeah, late challenge. It's not a good one, and he's got to be careful. He got 2 yellow cards against Adelaide. He's clearly late. Just needs to. He's a young player, so full of enthusiasm, but you've got to learn as well.
Durante drops off. Plenty of experience across the back four of Wellington Phoenix, with Ben Sigmund and Andrew Durante centrally. Heisegham's great skill just to keep possession. Good ball too to Hicks. Tried to slide it into the path of Brocky, but it was cut out well. Bratton looks left and right. Sees Broich in space. Good situation this, running at Boxall. Ferreira. Bratton. Hingett. Good run in behind. Hingett! Oh, and how did Enrique miss? On a platter to the Brazilian. It should have been 1-1.
Well, that's incredible. That's poor technique. Really super pass this one. And the perfect setup. Well, it's harder to do that than score. I mean, that is quite incredible in a season where we have seen some misses. He tries to go with the left foot. Well, you can say left foot, should have gone with the right. He should have scored. An incredible miss.
3 goals for Enrique this season, should have been number 4. And in a match where they're missing so many key stars, that could come back to haunt Brisbane Roar.
Well, it was a perfect opportunity to get something out of this first half when really we probably haven't deserved it on the play. But wow.
With Mike Mulvey looking at to manage life after Bessart, it's not the look he wants to see. Enrique has done the job and may do it here. Utilise his blistering pace. Will he leave it for Petratos? Is that a penalty? There was contact.
Must have been close. Petratos pointing that it was inside the box. Enrique just couldn't get away, could he? It's good defending from Boxall originally, and then it's clearly outside the box.
We're talking about centimetres too. Contact outside the box.
Yeah, good decision. Well, Boxall did well. Not the foul, but he forced Enrique away from goal.
And this is all set up for Dimi Petratos. Sweet left boot, but he's away from this free kick. Thought he may be a contender for this one, given the angle. Only one contender, Thomas Broich.
Yeah, it's not a greatest angle for a right footer, is it? But it's the best option available.
Played every minute for Brisbane Roar this season. Scored home and away against Sydney. Thomas Broich squares it. Enrique, snapshot straight into Signet.
I'm not sure Enrique realised that was coming to him. I think it was definitely rehearsed the way Broich played it, but
he was on his heels.
He was on his heels when he was moving forward. He wasn't checking back.
Top work. Broich! Oh, what a strike against the crossbar. And that was the moment for Brisbane Roar. Individual brilliance by Thomas Broich opened the path. So unlucky, Brisbane. Petratos. Klut. Been a thoroughly entertaining first 45 minutes.
Man, haven't Brisbane got better in the last 5? 2 super chances.
Delivered well. And Smith in there. Looking for his 4th goal this season. Petratos gets to the byline. Decent cutback. Enrique won't win that header. Boyd should clear, but doesn't. Dade North. That's a high boot and a relieving free kick for Wellington Phoenix.
We'll probably see them through, but what about that effort from Thomas Broich? The way he skipped past 2 defenders. And a fantastic strike. He just gave it violence. Had whip and swerve as well. Had Moss beaten. It's very unlucky. Crashes onto the crossbar.
The first half comes to a close. Stain Heisingam's opportunistic goal separates the 2 sides, but it could have been 1-1 at the death, with Thomas Broich coming up with a marvellous individual effort, culminating with a cracking shot from distance. But after 45 minutes, at Suncorp Stadium. It's Brisbane Roar 0, Wellington Phoenix 1. And it's now down to Nick Meredith.
Yeah, thanks, Bascott. Shane Stefanito. Shane didn't really seem to get going the Roar until he went a goal behind.
Yeah, we got what we deserved. There's no doubting that. Disappointing start to the half and the game. So at least we've got the second half to go and we can make a difference.
Last 10 minutes seemed a lot better. Is that the sort of momentum you want to take into a half-time break?
Yeah, maybe. And maybe it was a wake-up call for all of us. So hopefully we come out firing in the second half.
Thanks, Shane. Appreciate your time. Stay with us, all the half-time highlights and analysis with the team from kickoff after this short break.
Fresh avocado, cabbage-free fruit jam, that reminds you of natural smoked salmon with prominent avocado stack is back. Now time for fresh new menu. Experience it today.
This is colour. And contrast like never before. With the groundbreaking 4-pixel OLED technology and a revolutionary curved screen, you're no longer watching TV. With the groundbreaking 4-pixel OLED technology and a revolutionary curved screen, you're no longer watching TV. You are immersing yourself in it. It's television redefined. It's all possible with the LG OLED TV.
Fresh avocado, cabbage-free fruit jam, that reminds you of natural smoked salmon with prominent avocado stack is back. Now time for fresh new menu. Experience it today at the Coffee Club.
Australia's leading sports organisations have made a pledge to tackle youth binge drinking.
Now we're watching your favourite sports, football. Michael Innes Menswear is the proud outfitter of Brisbane Roar this season. Roar members show your Brisbane Roar membership during the season and receive 10% off. Located on Boundary Street, West End, drop in and see Kerry and the team.
Well, welcome on to Here Day halftime here at Suncorp Stadium. Now, we've got something very special about to happen to a very special member of our Brisbane Roar family. Now, first of all, I'd like to welcome Julianne Albright, the CEO of the Brisbane Airport Corporation. Now, Women's World Player of the Year. I think that is just... A very special presentation here, a bunch of flowers, of course, from our General Manager at the Brisbane Roar, Sean Dobson, and something that... Ladies and gentlemen, the FIFA Women's World Player of the Year, Nadine Umbrella. Australia Day long weekend, and we've got Jake, Scott and Leanne here because we are doing an Australia Day race. So let's tell you about how it's going to work first. Guys, there's a table over there at the southern end of Suncorp Stadium. You have to run and put your hat on. You know, the sombrero, which is very Australian. Then, there's another table. You have to run and put your cape on, because that's Australia. It's like super Australia. We were going to have a meat pie table for Leanne's vegetarian, and we can't do that. We just can't do that. So, what you then have to run is to the northern end goal, where there are 3 balls set up. The first of you to score wins a Brisbane Roar merchandise pack. Are you ready? All right. Let's get underway. Gary, are you ready up in the box, ready to help us in commentary?
Absolutely looking forward to this Australia Day celebration and race.
All right. On your marks. Get set. Go!
They're off and running in the young fella in the base. Vance is getting off to a nice early start. The vegetarian is slowing right up. Needs a little bit of beauty, energy getting there. It's a two-horse race at the moment. The two fellas are going for it. They've picked up there. They're going to try and put the cape on. They've gone past the non-existent beach bars. Probably should have gone with some burritos or something with the hat. They're just going to put the ball. He's not wearing a cap. One of them puts his hat on. He's got the ball. To pick the winner.
Jay. Come over here. Come on, walk with me. Look, Jake was the first one to get his hat, his game, and score the goal. So, ladies and gentlemen, that makes you the Brisbane Roar Australia Day champion.
Pretty stoked with that.
Can you give some advice to the Brisbane Roar score more goals today?
Just have a shot.
Nice. Well, congratulations. You nailed it in the goal. You are our Australia Day champion. A Brisbane Roar merchandise pack for you.
Sweet as. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, happy Australia Day. Let's get behind the Brisbane Roar. They're coming back out in the field now. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for your Brisbane Roar.
He makes the IX35 Series 2 and SUV that feels tough enough to handle anything we do. The Hyundai.
Very positive indeed for Wellington Phoenix, searching for their first win in Brisbane against the Roar. Stain Haskins goes to the top of the A-League charts with his 8th goal and gives the Phoenix a 1-0 advantage at half-time. The home fans have come out to see Brisbane reverse their very poor recent record at home. They've lost their last 2 at Suncorp Stadium.
Fresh avocado, cabbage-free poached egg, and at Wellington natural smoked salmon. The salmon and avocado stack is back.
And of course, Besart Berisha out, but not just him. Liam Miller, Matt Mackay, Ivan Franjic. It's a big hole to fill for the Roar. Table toppers in the A-League, but under threat, the travelling Wellington Phoenix. Leo Bertos, the veteran, about to come on. Two starts, his 5th appearance off the bench, so he's been a little bit out of favour from Ernie Merrick this season.
Substitution for the Wellington Phoenix going into this second half.
The second 45 underway. It's catch-up football for Brisbane Roar, trying to withstand another invading team on home soil. With Adelaide and Newcastle winning the most recent home matches for the Roar.
That'd be difficult to believe, wouldn't it, David, to think that the table-topping Roar and some of the great football they played, that they could lose 3 in a row at home. It would certainly give them a bit of a complex, you'd imagine.
And in contrast, too, with Wellington having won in Brisbane and their away form in past seasons being poor, this would be a landmark victory for them, I'm sure. Really push their confidence levels to new heights, chasing that top 6 berth. It's a quick throw too. Vince Lear hit the post first half, but he won't find the target with that shot.
Well, you see, again, opening period of this second half and already very loose in that midfield. Just a quick throw in there, and Leo was, well, he's on for the strike. Set up nicely for him. Screwed off the outside of his boot.
Headed by Boxall. Hicks. A fantastic first half. Really worked hard to retain possession. Good first touch and out of the feet here to Hicks. And Hicks strikes it well, but straight into Jade North. Immediately under pressure, the Roar. Roach had that fabulous chance late in the half, struck the crossbar with swerving effort, but his technique to get around a play and create the space outstanding. Good back heel, Ferreira. Nice to play the ball in behind for Enrique, and it's out over the touchline. Nick Meredith, how are you going second half?
Yeah, Bass, I'll tell you what, I'm pretty warm sitting down here. We unfortunately didn't get a chance to talk to Chris Greenacre at half-time, but down that end of the tunnel, noticeably the Wellington boys coming out said they were really struggling in the heat. And talking to Ernie Merrick and Chris Greenacre, they expect their boys to really tire in the last 20 minutes. So expect, if it stays like this, a bit of an onslaught from the Roar as the half goes on.
I suppose factoring against that is potential fade out for the home side, given all their travels in the past week. 10 men for 60 minutes. Very oppressive conditions, high humidity, heavy pitch. Both keepers pulled off sharp saves first half, Glenn Moss and Michael Theo. Free kick for the Phoenix. Unraised, and Jeremy Brocky in his territory. Good distance, nice angle too.
So Brocky gets a chance, of course. Hernandez would have had this, but he's away. Distance.
3 goals this season for Jeremy Brocky, but a host of missed chances as well. He strikes it low, and soft hands by Michael Theo. Good release to Broich, but Riera sensed the danger across quickly.
Well, he does such a good job for them, Riera, doesn't he? Just plays it simple, sweeps in front of that back four.
Jade North. Hands of Stefanuto pretty quickly. Ferreira's on a yellow card, but as Heisingham's in with a pretty muscular challenge.
Bratton just allowing that one to get a little bit away from him. Got there first, and Heisingham's just with the late challenge. No yellow card there.
Of course, Corey Brown on the bench for the Roar. Stefanuto keeping him out of the starting lineup. Great chest down. What a strike! Devante Clout equalises for Brisbane Roar. Wonderful assist from Enrique, who missed that gilt-edged chance first half. But the youngster on his debut. It's 1-1.
Well, what a brilliant finish. There looked to be nothing on. Broich coming in off the touchline. Little chip ball. The diagonal run from Enrique, didn't he? Lay it off very, very well. Look, there's really nothing on. Enrique just darts in there. Good movement from Klug. Great first touch. Better second touch. Brilliant finish from the youngster. Just pure intent from him. Moss stretching to his right-hand side, has no chance. In fact, the ball's probably past him before he dives in the air.
And that's one way to mark your debut. Sensational goal, and it's got the crowd involved, and it's got Brisbane full of momentum early in the second half. Ferreira. Is that a foul? This beats right on the spot. Durante delivers to Brocky. In turn, Bertos. Hicks has got some space. The overlap provided by Boxall. Numbers in the area for Wellington. Have to be a little bit careful here, Brisbane. Poor first touch. Ferreira sweeps it away off his head. And we mentioned in the first half how it was a promising first 10 minutes by Klutz. That'll be collected easily by Michael Theo. Then he faded out of the contest in the remaining 40 minutes of the half. What a way to announce yourself second half.
It was great movement, great run, super goal. Giving him a dive there. I thought there was contact there on Deutsch.
I think he's a little bit unlucky there. Stand to be corrected by the replay, but Chris Beath right on the spot.
And Mike Mulvey absolutely filthy on the touchline. I thought initially there was contact. It's clear contact.
Clear foul.
Well, that's a terrible decision from the referee. Got to be better than that.
Boxall. Over hit. Bertos was in space. Petrantos has a chance to tidy up at the back for Brisbane. Durante nods it forward. It's returned by Jade North. Return Sigmund. On the ground now for Hingett. Let go by the referee. Petrantos. Ferreira switches on to Broich.
Great pass from Bratton there.
Stefanuto stays on side. Slides it into Klub. Flicked it across. Doing so, he's very sharp and trying to open the path there for Petrantos.
They just had enough bodies, didn't they, Wellington, in the penalty box. Broich getting more involved, and that's what they need, Brisbane. They need really him to stand up and orchestrate things there in the middle of the park. And he drifts in from the left-hand side, which is his starting position.
Important period this for Wellington, searching for their first win at Suncorp Stadium, first win in Brisbane. This match has had a really interesting ebb and flow. Of course, the possession stats are in the home side's favour. Certainly, the Phoenix very dangerous on the counter-attack. They've got some players that can really exploit that tactic.
Yeah, look, I think Wellington were clearly the better side in that first half. And it's a poor pass from Stefanuto.
He's left his team exposed. Heisigums, Bertos running away from goal. Hingett to try to cut off the angle.
Just going back, so what Brisbane did, they had a very good little period, didn't they? The end of that first half where Enrique missed an absolute sitter, and then Broich, a brilliant bit of skill, a shot that crashed off the crossbar. So they ended it positively, and they've carried that on in the early part of this second half.
Hicks has had a very good match in midfield for the Phoenix. Slides it into the path of Brocky, who's forced wider. Did it take a deflection?
We could see this one over and over again, couldn't we? There's the little dink from Broich. Great awareness of Enrique and good movement. Great first touch and a brilliant finish. And they took something special to get back on level terms, and that's what it meant to them.
Needed something special after Broich went ever so close first half.
Now there, ironically, he's got the yellow card for a dive, and I think that one he's just been very clever to win a free kick off Boxall.
North. Puts Klut under pressure. He was on his heels. It was a poor ball as Bertos lays off to Leah. Congested there, but Hicks and Riera combine well. Jason Hicks once more pops up in a dangerous position. Numbers in the middle. Bertos needs quality. Didn't get it with his first touch. And that's a free kick and a dive. And that, I think you'll find that that's the correct decision.
Well, he's been consistent. We'll see if it is a dive, but he's booked Broich, and if he thinks this one's a dive, he's got to book him as well. He's adamant. Brocky's not. His first touch took him away. Leo Bertos, and well, he went down very easily. There was a little bit of contact there, but he went down.
It was a delayed reaction.
It was a delayed reaction.
More smiles for Chris Beath in match number 89 or 90 now in the A-League. Yeah, Bertos has had to bide his time for minutes this season for the Phoenix. Spread wide to Broich. Vauxhall trying to cover his move. 2 against 1 situation in favour of Wellington, but Broich gets the cross in. It falls to Klut. Poor first touch. And Hicks comes out. Leah swept away by Broich. Fans really appreciate his defensive effort. Good technique by Bratton. Here's the German. Long delivery. Well trapped by Petratos.
He's done well to pull that one down, hasn't he?
Kept his concentration. North again spots Broich in space. Around one. Lifts it into space. Enrique! Can't get contact. He glanced off the head of the Brazilian.
What about the play from Broich, though? That is absolutely brilliant. The way he dropped his shoulder, went past the defender, and then picks out Enrique. It's probably just over him. Beautiful flight. He just can't get enough on it. Enrique, it's actually behind him. Maybe it would have been better to leave it with a player coming from behind.
I just marvel at the impact he has on Brisbane Roar. Thomas Broich leads the assist count. Fouls 1, balls in the penalty area. He's pressured most passes and he's affected most turnovers. It's just quite remarkable. And a very strong argument for the best and the most consistent marquee in the A-League in its history. Approaching the hour mark, it's 1-1. Plenty of talking points in this match. Leah. Hicks. Petratos sweeps possession away through the middle. Flag stays down. Enrique's in. Oh, what an effort by Glenn Moss. He's way off his line. Long-range effort. Can't find the target. Quick counter-attack by Brisbane.
That's good goalkeeping. He made the decision perfectly. Put through Enrique from Petratos. Just a little bit too much on it. That gives Moss just enough time. He was quick off his line. And he does well, doesn't he? Enrique gets there first, but can't get enough on the ball to get it around Moss. Petratos, wasn't a terrible effort, was it? He knew Moss was off his line. He had to take it in an unnatural position.
End-to-end stuff, really opening up this second half. I just sense there's more goals than this one.
Well, Brisbane have come out so much better in the second half.
Klut to Ferreira. Stefanuto. Enrique. Yeah, got a defensive touch. It was an important one too. Just unbalancing Enrique. Lovely step over by Hicks. Well judged and well read by Jade North.
That was great covering from Jade North. A little dummy from Hicks, and he thought he was away.
Opens up for Hicks. Muscat provides the width. He'll take him on, he does, but Hingett equal to the occasion. Riera. Bertos. Leah. To the feet of Hicks. It's a ball, but well read by Matt Smith. Just closed the angle on Brocky. Leah. Square. Heisigams. Hicks summing up the options. Bertos. Hingett needs to be cleared for Brisbane, and it is, but it's Jade North with a sigh of relief in the end.
They just lacked a little bit of width there. Bertos coming in narrow with Hicks. He was looking for Bertos to make a bit of a wider run.
Bratton. A throw there for Brisbane Roar. Those possession stats have narrowed overall 54 to 46 in favour of Brisbane Roar. 8 shots to 10. Wellington shaved them on that count. 6 on target by the Phoenix. Remember, Brisbane failed to get a shot on target on their travel to Perth last week. 3 in this match. Giano Tranny, the assistant to Mike Mulvey, move just about to be made. Looks like young Corey Brown to come on. So James Donachie is the defender. We'll find some minutes now for Brisbane Roar.
Yeah, I think he thought of calling Corey Brown up. Changed his mind at the last minute.
Over the top. Up at Riera. Sweeps it wide. Sigmund. Mike Mulvey wants the move to be made. It's now Jack Hingett making way for Donachie. 7 starts this season for James Donachie. Jack Hingett hasn't been his normal marauding best down that right-hand side. In this one, how will it change up? Will it be a straight swap? Will Donachie shift into that right-back role?
Yeah, it looks like it, and of course that's not a natural position for him. So more problems for Mike Mulvey.
Perhaps he's picked up an injury. Donachie into the action immediately. Good ball to the feet of Petratos. Gets around Muscat.
Oh, could have taken an extra touch. Good skill, drop the shoulder past Muscat.
Lovely little 1-2 with Ferreira. Second touch just got away from Dilly Petratos.
Yeah, good covering tackle that time. Little 1-2, and Muscat just did enough. Just got a toe to it.
Den's out in force beyond the hour mark, and it's Brisbane 1, Wellington 1. The Roar equalising second half through Devante Clut. Corner, can't clear the first man. Here's Clut once more. Just dwelled in possession long enough for James or Jeremy Brocky to get a challenge in.
Just lack bodies here. Royce taking the throw in. Enrique was just surrounded by Wellington players. You don't really want Broish. You want him receiving the ball from a throw-in.
Good distribution by Hicks. Heisigams can't keep it in play. Well, oppressive conditions, it really does play on the players' fitness, but also their concentration levels as well.
Wellington are a little bit tired, aren't they? Only Merrick's worries may be justified.
Brocky to the feet of Enrique. Decent first touch. Ferreira strikes well. The follow-up's in. Topside, the flag is up on Dimi Petratos. He was eyeing off his first goal at Suncorp Stadium.
It must have been close. The real chance, though, is for Ferreira. It's a poor finish from him. Brilliant little turn and flick from Enrique. He was trying to get it for himself. It falls for Ferreira. He wants to get it on his right. He is onside. He's on his right foot.
Well, it's very, very close to being square with the last man, Dimi Petratos.
I think he's onside.
We'll hear what the fans think about that. Roy Krishna replacing Jeremy Brockie. Injury replacement this season for Paul Eiffel. Here's Hicks. Bertos. Hicks forced wide. Decent cutback, but Smith was there to sweep it away.
He's been very good tonight, Hicks. So lively down that left-hand side. Nice and sharp. He's got quick feet.
First touch for Krishna. Lifted over the top. Boxall. Boxall put on the chest. Leah. Krishna. They need a spark. Wellington Phoenix has been all Brisbane in the last 10-15 minutes. They're sparked by that equaliser. And it's a goal kick.
Oh, look at the initial shot from Ferreira. There's the turn from Enrique. Oh, you have to say with that, with the line, he's offside.
Because the top half of the body was offside.
So he's got it right.
Very close, though.
Lucky we've got that line. I saw the first replay. I thought he was onside.
Well, the assistant hasn't got the luxury of any line.
Yeah. But I stick to what I said. The real, the best chance fell to Ferreira. It's a poor finish.
Here's the Fijian international Krishna. "22 caps for his country, 12 goals. And that's a free kick to Brisbane.
He's been playing to the ball since he's come on, Krishna. He's blowing already, and he needs to find the rhythm of the game. So, speaking to Ernie Merrick about him before the game, and says, although he's 26, he's a real hit in Fiji, of course. And so he's got a lot of promise.
For Krishna. Hicks, he's been everywhere for Phoenix. Bertos tries to nick it past Stefanuto. Leah slides it in the path of Bertos. Needs quality, but again, Matt Smith just judges the cross perfectly. Boxall. Bertos. Leah. Former Melbourne Victory player. Would have been a sweet week for him after that 5-0 double last week. And Petratos has worked hard for Brisbane. Ferreira. Donachie replacing Hingett at right back. See how congested that central area is for Brisbane Roar. They have to look for options out wide. Drifting in that space, Thomas Broich. 1-2 with Petratos was excellent. Broich, the crowd want him to shoot. Ferreira on the angle. Oh! Flashes across the goal of Glenn Moss.
Yeah, Moss stretching to his right hand. It's definitely a shot from Ferreira. Play again from Broich. The poise, the balance. And he hits that with some venom. It just swings away past that far post. Wanted it to bend the other way, didn't he?
Another example of the Thomas Bruce situation where the crowd were just baying for him to shoot. And it's Devante Klutz making a successful debut for the Brisbane Roar.
Well, no matter what happens from here on, you'll hear that round of applause for him. He's not going to forget this one.
Replaced by Jai Ingham and Byron Bay, right-sided midfielder. Another of the young products of the Roar that Mike Mulvey hopes to mould into a senior player in the years to come. Is there a winner in this one? Brisbane, for the majority of the half, have made all the running. A mistake there by Vince Leah. Turned over quickly. That man once more, Albert Riera. The amount of times he gets the boot in, and just does the little things that mean so much to Wellington Phoenix.
An important one again. So Enrique was in the box there with just Durante in front of him.
The crowd willing a second. It's flashed across the area. James Donachie, the big defender, in with purpose, but couldn't make contact and get the header on target. Did glance off his head. It's beyond the back post.
Yeah, good delivery from Bratton from the corner and attacking the ball. Donachie just got too fine a glance on it.
Fouled by Krishna.
You see Brisbane sensing Wellington are tiring because they're taking everything quickly. Up the tempo.
Of course, the Phoenix have Alex Rufer on the bench, 17-year-old nephew of New Zealand's greatest player, Winton Rufer.
It's a famous name.
Yet to make his first team debut. Another that Coach Ernie Merrick has targeted as a regular first team player in the years to come. Donachie pokes it through. Jai Ingham fouling the Phoenix captain Andrew Durante. Phoenix keep their unbeaten record intact, or can they pinch what would be at the moment an unlikely winner? We've seen in the second half, but they've certainly got the quality on the pitch to take their chance. Hey, Muscat with purpose. Krishna. Leah.
Yeah, they haven't had the same zip about them as they had in that first half. And Merrick was right that he thought his side would tire. They're still hanging in there.
Over the top Riera, but Krishna made the run. Pass was not to his liking. The only two times Wellington has beaten Brisbane, they've had the lead at half-time. Of course, those two performances away from home. North. Voigt, another outstanding performance by Brisbane's number 22. Boxall showed too much of it to Bratton. Pereira. Petratos. Now slows the tempo down with he wouldn't be getting past Boxall in a hurry. Roach lays it off to Bratton. Clever ball. Back to the German. Donachie peels out wide. Slow build up this for Brisbane. Pereira did well to win it back. Under pressure. There's Ingham. That's the touch get away from him. Smith, another completed pass, finds Petratos. Stefanuto provides the overlap. The veteran, can he whip in a quality ball? Wins the corner for Brisbane.
Oh, it's good defending. They kept their defensive structure there, Wellington. As Brisbane were moving the ball from right to left, trying to drag them out of positions, but good discipline there.
Time now for the experience of Wellington's defence to come to the fore. Been under pressure for all of the half. So Muscombe's getting a header in. Krishna.
He had nowhere to go there, Krishna.
Donachie looking for support, but no player came to him.
He allowed the ball to bounce. That was the first mistake.
Spread wide to the Belgium. Bertos. Nice the 1-2, but Krishna's touch a little too heavy. Just got one on the top of the foot for his troubles. Reece Kyra replacing Jason Hicks, who really, for 70 minutes of this match was outstanding for Wellington. But he was one that put in so much work in these conditions too, and was probably the first to fade in the midfield for the Phoenix. He just puts his foot on it and changes the direction to north. Boych knocks it down to Stefanuto. They'll start their slow build-up at Brisbane Roar. Boych gets around Riera. And such a hard worker for the Phoenix. Swings the boot, but Krishna got something on it as well. Anxious Mike Mulvey on the touchline, looking to end this winless run at home. Of course, they're still top of the A-League, and good points spread over Western Sydney. Looking for their third championship. When you look at the quality of their squad pre-season, they certainly did stand out as one of the A-League favourites. Quick ball carriage. Manny Muscat has space to exploit. In the middle, Reece Kyra. That's far too heavy. Stein Heisegams. And there's the Golden Boot leader at the moment. Goal ahead of James Tracy, Bessa Parisha, and Adam Taggart on 6. Of course, Adam Taggart's been away on international duty with the Australian under-22 team that made the quarterfinals of the Asian Championships, beaten by Saudi Arabia. A match in which Corey Brown started twice for, well, it's not exactly the Olympic team, it's not exactly the young Socceroos, it's the under-22s. What are they called, Robbie?
Well, you've got me there.
Okay.
Well, I think it's it's obviously the future Ollie Roos. That's what they were looking at. And a disappointing end out in the quarterfinal, as you said, to Saudi Arabia, beaten 4-0 by Japan. A lot of talk. Yep, sorry, a lot of talk of whether the Hyundai A-League players should have gone there.
Thumbs up from Ernie Merrick, who in the first half really did cut off plenty of supply for Brisbane Roar. Take away that individual genius of Thomas Broich to fashion a chance late in the half. Vince Lee hit the post with the upright early for Wellington Phoenix. Highly entertaining first 45. And then it was Devante Clout opening the way for the equaliser. Assist from Enrique. Just the quality of the strike, but just the exuberance of celebration from Devante Clout. 18 years of age, playing his first A-League match. It was great to see. And Sigmund struggling with an issue for the Phoenix, cramping up. It's very humid conditions in Brisbane. Stefanuto delivers early. Sigmund got the clearance away. He leads the A-League in that stat.
Yeah, excellent positioning from the central defender.
They're out on their feet at the moment, Wellington. Can they hold on for a point? They've got around 8 minutes to survive.
Well, they've certainly nullified Brisbane in the last 10 minutes, haven't they? They're trying to gather a head of steam, but very disciplined Wellington. Not much offering going forward. In spite of the absences for Brisbane, it's still a very good point for Wellington.
Broich. Still going, Thomas Broich. Now pulls the trigger, but can't get it past Reece Kyra.
Yeah, just hesitated. I think that's what closed the space. Again, ghosting in. Brilliant balance and poise. Just hesitated on the strike.
That's a lovely ball over the top. Ingham's onside. In behind for a corner. And of course, even if they could, they can't replace Ben Sigmund at this point. All three subs used by Ernie Merrick.
It's a pretty good outcome for Brisbane because it was only Enrique in the box. I think it broke down that right inside channel. Another set piece.
There's the corner count, 5-3. If ever Brisbane need quality, they need it from the boot of Luke Bratton. Swinging away from goal. Enrique's up. And it's in, no, off the crossbar. Enrique got the overhead away. Didn't have a lot of pace, but took a slight deflection on the way through.
Well, Matt Smith with the header. Looking for the handball there. It comes off Riera. Oh, certainly. Oh, it looked like a handball, didn't it? Mike Mulvey convinced.
Leah. Bertos. Too hot for Heisigans. Thomas Broich worked the free kick, but in doing so, he has made contact with Michael Boxall. Collecting that right shin of the Wellington fullback. Brandon Borello comes on for the home side.
I think Boxall is the... Oof.
The arm came out.
Yeah, it looks like a handball. Looked like two.
I wasn't saying that was handball. I was saying
Off one onto the other.
Borello. Petratos accepts from Donachie. Dimi Petratos! It's knocked down. Enrique, did he take it on the arm? No, he didn't. He clips it in. Desperate defending by Wellington. Bratton, it's in! Luke Bratton has scored the winner. What a strike! What a moment! Brisbane back their runabouts at home. And it's Luke Bratton, the hero for the Roar.
Well, what a goal this is. Luke Bratton, take a bow, son. He's attacked that. You can see he was running at it. He's a long way out, but he was always going to hit it. So difficult to strike that sort of ball. Technically perfect on the half volley. There's the first strike from Petratos. Henrique can't control it, clips it back in. That's not a bad defensive header. And look at him, he steams onto it. I think Moss sees it late, but he controls the volley. That is technically very difficult to perform. And it's a full 32, 33, 34 metres maybe. A lot of spin on it. I think Moss sees it late because he moved late, crashes off the crossbar. Technically, look how he hits that. And it swerves the other way and crashes off the corner of the post and into the net. That is a super strike.
Well, the Roar's constant force in midfield. Played all matches for them. And his second goal this season, he scored against the Jets away from home, but that was something special from Luke Bratton. At the other end, Krishna threatening. And he fouls Donachie in the process.
Well, it was just a bit too much, wasn't it, for Wellington? They've certainly, and he knows his team is tired. Excellent in the first half. But Brisbane themselves have been excellent in the second half.
Given the players missing for the Roar, Franic, Mackay, Barisha and Miller. It's been a performance of great self-belief as much as quality in the second half.
Well, whatever he said at half-time, it certainly worked. And that strike from Bratton, from that distance, and to run onto it with that pace, to be able to control it, extraordinary. That is technically so difficult to do. And Wellington grabs something.
Krishna, Marsigams. Krishna was on his feet. Petratos, good use of the body too.
Oh, look at that for composure there. Brilliant.
Releasing Ingham. Just needs to show composure. Approaching the 90. Mike Mulvey wants this situation managed there for the Roar. Riera coming out. Mora spreads it wide. Combining with Boxall. Riera streaming forward. Manny Muscat wants to nick it past his opponent. Still going Manny Muscat. Boxall. Can he get the shot away? He can, but he scuffs it. He just dragged it wide. Michael Boxall may have shot first time, but decided to cut in.
Yeah, he cut in, and you called it right, David. He scuffed it. Good play there from Muscat. Opens up, maybe with the right foot, but he does make that opening for him. But he just scuffs his shot. He's going for that near post. There was too many bodies probably to go for the far post, unless he maybe bent it, but that was a real half chance for him. Maybe you're right what you said. Maybe a good touch and take it on the right side with his right foot.
Three minutes of injury time.
That's the best chance they've had really in the second half, Wellington. Brisbane sitting back here.
Yeah, defensive concentration levels have to be at a premium, Brisbane. Still smarting for that missed chance. Boxall, Bertos, Muscat. Too much of it to Donachie, who just lashes it over the touchline. The fans willing the Roar on for a home victory.
Oh, he's sitting very deep here.
Sigmund out on his feet, suffering cramp. Hardly lift the legs. Riera. Sigmund wants Boxall to come short. And again, just cut out to Stefanuto getting a touch. Under 90 seconds of 3 minutes of time added. Riera on his heels and trying to pick his pocket was Enrique. Durante. Jade North, anywhere will do. The fresh legs of Reece Kyra. Krishna offside, and that
went a bit too early, didn't it?
It was just a naive situation there because Donachie had a good angled run on the makeshift right back. We've had some entertainment at Suncorp this season, and this is very much in that category. Sharp touch by Riera. Through the middle, Leah. This is a big chance. Bertos, can he get the shot away? He does! And it's not on target. And
it was always going to be a hard one. He did break away, but he's on a terrible angle and needs to try and get across the keeper there. But he was under pressure. See here, and it's always going to be difficult from there. And he goes near post, and the other side was the one to go for.
Seconds draining away, and Chris Spieth puts it into this one. And they break their runabouts at home. Brisbane Roar. First home victory in 3 outings with a devastating second half. And some absolute top shelf goals through Devante Clout and Luke Bratton after Stain Hasekens opened the scoring in the first half for Wellington Phoenix. What a performance and a mark of self-belief for the table toppers, Brisbane Roar. Wellington have fallen short in their aim to win a first ever A-League match at Suncorp Stadium. A moment to remember for 18-year-old Devante Clout on his debut.
He'll certainly never forget that, David. Will he? It was a super strike as well, and there were 2 special goals that gave Brisbane the win against a very valiant and gallant Wellington Phoenix, who really in the second half did fade. You could see it. Ernie Merrick was worried about it, and it came to pass.
90 minutes of entertainment at Suncorp. The final score, Brisbane Roar 2, Wellington Phoenix 1. And it's now down to Nick Meredith.
Thanks, Bash. I've got a very weary and worn-out Ben Sigmund with me. So how difficult were those conditions for you guys?
Yeah, mate, it was pretty humid out there for us Kiwi boys, but thought the first half we did pretty well. You know, we took it to them pretty well, but yeah, I think probably the second half we dropped off a little bit and got a little bit tired, and they scored a couple of good goals, you know, and to be fair, they probably deserved the win in the end.
First 30-35 minutes was excellent from you guys. You really contained Brisbane and went in 1-0 up, where you perhaps should have been a couple more. Yeah,
it would have been nice to be 2-0 up, but you know, everyone had their chances. Brisbane probably had a couple of chances, and you know, 1-0 was nice, but probably wasn't enough. And you know, as I said, we dropped off a bit much in the second half, and we got punished.
Thanks, mate. Let you go and have a nice cold beer. Cheers, mate. Here are the night, Luke Bratton. A couple of goals this year that have gone in off deflections.
The goal's a goal, mate. Goal's a goal.
Tough conditions tonight, but you guys in the second half seemed to get stronger as the game went on.
Oh, definitely. We know that our supreme fitness will overcome teams in the last 10, 15, even 20 minutes. So we stuck to our structure, kept playing, and it was a better performance second half.
Talk us through the goal, because they are very hard ones to hit. What were your thought process going up to it? Just concentrate on keeping it down?
Yeah, that's it. Just concentrate on hitting it clean. Don't try and hit it too hard. And yeah.
Rest is history, and it goes. For an understrength side tonight, a couple of, you know, 4 big names out. It's a fantastic victory.
Yeah, definitely. We're just showing that we got brilliant depth. The young boys that come in do a superb job, and of course we're going to miss the boys. They're such good players, and but yeah, the boys worked hard foremost and got the result.
Nice to get a win at home.
Yeah, definitely.
Thanks, Luke. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Mike, 1-0 down at half-time. You realised, did you think that Wellington was starting to struggle in the conditions?
Well, I think it was always going to be a factor, but gee, I enjoyed that second half. You know, I listen to the fans now. It's absolutely amazing atmosphere. And, you know, very, very pleased with the second half performance. They got a deserved lead in the first half because they did pepper the goal a few times, hit the post. But I just felt, just coming to half-time, we're starting to get back into it. And we made a couple of adjustments at half-time. We got Thomas on the left-hand side, and I think that experience between Thomas and Steph really made a difference in the second half.
Just a word on Thomas. He got our man of the match in the second half. He was simply outstanding.
Yeah, and that's what he is. You know, I think he was very unfairly booked for a challenge. It just caught his hip, as far as I was concerned, so I thought that was wrong. But the measure of the man is he just got himself up, got on with the game, and produced a very good performance, as did the rest of the lads.
Bit of a difficult week for the club. There's been obviously the Barisha announcement, which, you know, can be a bit destabilising. Do you think tonight's performance was a bit of an answer to that?
Absolutely, 100%. I didn't appreciate what happened during the week. I don't mind saying that. I think that the club deserved a little bit more respect in that regard. We've got no hassles whatsoever with the decision that Bessart has made. That's football, we understand that. But I just thought it could have been kept quiet till the weekend.
Massive game next week at home against the Mariners, who have made a climb up the table, so it's very important.
Let's enjoy this one first, Nick.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate your time.
Cheers, mate. Thanks.
Ernie, I asked Benny Sigmund about the conditions. He said it was really tough, and it seemed to notice after about 35 minutes your boys struggled.
Yes, particularly in the second half, but we had our chances to go ahead. A couple of goals in the first half. We hit the post. We had a couple across the face of the goal. A great save from Theo. And in the second half, we just run out of legs, and we missed our Costa Ricans a little bit as well, holding the ball. Gave away possession a little bit, but I thought it was a fantastic effort from the boys.
First 35 minutes or up until the goal, were you really pleased with how your boys kept the tactical shape that you set out?
Yes, especially with a couple of new boys coming in and filling in. I thought they all did very well. And they're bitterly disappointed with that result, but really they've had a good run and they played a very good team today, and so I wasn't too disappointed at all.
It's been a good run, as you said, and they've really got themselves and the club back in a position now. Even though it's a loss tonight, finals are still a real chance.
Oh, definitely finals are a chance. These are the games that sometimes they go for you or go against you. They're a good side. I would have liked to draw out of this, but it wasn't to be.
Appreciate your time, Ernie. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Nick. Thank you.
Score for the Phoenix, number 10.
Thomas, you got Alex Tobin points tonight, so you're just watching yourself up there on the big screen. Talk us through that second half. It was one of the better performances from the Roar this season, you think?
Yeah, it was great, and I'm glad that we could lift it that way, because we had many key players missing, and the young ones really stepped up, and that makes me super proud.
First half was difficult. Wellington kept their shape and made it really hard for you. Did you find that they noticeably tired as the game went on?
See, the problem is the way we approach the game. If we drop too deep and if we give them time and space to play, then they look good. They're a good team. They've got good quality individually up front, and they can hurt you. And we allowed that to happen, and we needed to fix that at half-time, and I'm glad we did, because you know yourself, it's really tough to come back from a 1-0. So, yeah, good effort. Credit to the boys.
So that was the key to the second half, play a higher tempo and play more balls forward than across the park?
Yeah, like play a hard line, commit more players, just be braver. It's as simple as that.
Wonderful performance, Thomas. Thanks for your time.
Cheers, man.